Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Tech Tuesday episode. I am Danny Zwischenberger with the Kentucky Horticulture Council, and today we are talking about marketing strategies for season extension. If you are new to Tech Tuesday, this is a series that aims to provide resources and educational content for growers who are interested in taking their operations to the next level. And this could mean simply incorporating new technological tools or strategies into your system, or building new protected growing spaces on your farm, or improving upon structures that you already have. Tech Tuesday is for everyone, so make sure that you are keeping an eye out for future topics that might pique your interest. If you have missed any of our past Tech Tuesday episodes, I encourage you to visit our YouTube channel to check out the full playlist. You can find all past webinars there and all of our Tech Tuesday content on the Hort Council's website and social media pages if you'd like to get caught up. And as usual, I will be sending out a follow-up email with a recap of this webinar for anybody who registered who had to miss out today, as well as links to our pages and any upcoming Tech Tuesday events. Just a couple of logistical notes before we get started today. A disclaimer that throughout our Tech Tuesday series, we are showcasing a wide variety of tech companies, brands, and products, but the Kentucky Horticulture Council does not necessarily endorse any one of those specifically. The focus of this series is to educate and empower growers, and growers should make purchasing decisions based on the needs of their own operations. And lastly, if you have any questions for our speaker today, feel free to drop those questions in the chat, or if you'd prefer, you can just unmute yourself after the presentation and ask aloud during the Q&A. So this is a short and sweet one, so we'll go ahead and dive into it. Joining us today is our very own Bethany Cox. Super excited about it. Bethany is the Direct Marketing Program Manager here at the Kentucky Horticulture Council and has been in this position since 2020, I believe. And prior to KHC, Bethany worked for the University of Kentucky's Food Connection and has spent her career thus far advocating for farmers markets across the state, promoting community-supported agriculture efforts, and generally supporting any grower involved with direct-to-consumer sales. And I can tell you that she takes on a whole lot more for KHC outside of her specific roles. And she's our resident foodie who keeps our own social media presence saturated with visually appealing and delicious looking recipes, all while promoting farms all over Kentucky. So she practices what she'll be preaching today. And so I'm excited to learn something alongside y'all with this webinar. So without further ado, I will let you take it away, Bethany.
Thank you so much. That was the most beautiful introduction ever. Oh man, I'm gonna save that in my forever and just play that on repeat. So I'm gonna share my screen and we can get started. Okay. So yes, yeah, like Danny said, I'm with the Hort Council. I will have been here 4 years this month. So really excited. I have loved everything that I've gotten to do in these past 4 years. It's crazy that it's been 4 years. It doesn't quite feel like that much time has passed, but you know, starting all of this through COVID, and getting out to farms in a mask and going to farmers markets, social distancing, everything. It's been really crazy to go from that to where we're at now, which is just absolutely wonderful. And to continue to see Kentucky markets just continuing to grow. So really love this job and really love the work that we've gotten to do. So like Danny said, today we're going to be talking about marketing for season extension. And we're just going to start off by talking about marketing in general. So there are different types of markets in the state of Kentucky and across the globe. But especially for a lot of our growers, you're looking at wholesale, farm to school, direct to consumer through farmers markets, on farm markets, things like that. And there really are such a wide variety of ways that you can market yourself to these markets. So let's just tally up how many times I say markets. But the different types of marketing channels that we have are, social media, audio, video, there are a bunch of ways that you can market yourself. And it's really important to start off by doing a personality assessment on yourself. Um, this doesn't have to be as daunting as it sounds. Just really think about if you've ever taken the like, I'm an INFJ or that kind of personality assessment. You know whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, where you thrive better. So if you are more extroverted, you like talking face to face, you really like getting that interaction with people and getting out and about. Farmers markets might be your jam, and that is awesome. You want to play to that strength. Along the same realm, you might really love to do some video content where it is you and the camera and you are the star. If you're more introverted, then farmers markets might not be the best suit for you. And trust me, there are plenty of farmers that are introverted and they just absolutely crush farmers markets. But if that's something that you're not exactly excited, you kind of groan when you get out of bed because you're like, oh, I have to go talk for 4 hours minimum. Then play up to your strengths in terms of look more towards doing wholesale, look more towards doing CSA where you don't interact with people as much, or it's just kind of more of a one-on-one, you're not berated at a farmer's market. So, like I said, that doesn't have to be too daunting. Just kind of figure out what you like, play to those strengths. And then grower versus markets, each of these markets have different clientele. So you kind of want to figure out once you've figured out which ones that you want to go to, who's the clientele there? Who is supporting your business? They can be really helpful. And we're going to figure out in the next slide who your customer is. But then when we're talking about the different marketing channels, the traditional is going to be your radio, your print ads. So looking at like your newspaper. Your digital is exactly how it sounds. It's going to be your social media. It's going to be the ways that people will find you through the internet or podcast or things like that. So once again, figure out which ones you like. It also depends on your area. So more rural areas, you're going to get a lot more traction from newspaper and radio ads than you would, or promotion doesn't necessarily have to be like a paid ad, but you're going to get a lot more traction for those in a smaller community than you would in, say, Lexington, where there are so many different, you're almost inundated with how much information is thrown at you as a customer. And then digital, we'll talk more about the different social medias that there are, but this way you can reach for free or for a like low fee. You can reach your entire community that's on Facebook. You can reach outside of that. You can reach globally if that is something that you're interested in. And so there are just a lot of opportunities with either. So, like I said, you want to find your target customer. You want to identify who is buying your product. And you might be wondering, how do I do this? All this is just taking notice in who is supporting your business. So who is coming to the farmer's market to purchase from you? Who's doing that weekly? What kind of, demographic do they fall in? Are they usually, just to get really technical, are they 15 to 45-year-old female women that are, have quite a bit of disposable income and they're buying all the flowers and they're getting all the things, or, just kind of figure out who is buying your product and who's supporting you, and even who is supporting you on social media. And you can actually find some of that data on social media, and I'll talk about that. But just identify who it is and kind of have a picture in your mind of like your ideal customer. You want to connect with them. So if your customer is someone that is not on social media, that doesn't mean don't get on there. But if your customer is someone that's reading the paper, promote through the paper. If there's someone that's listening to the radio religiously, then that's how you want to connect to them. And that's how you want to get your information across to them. So that's why it's really important to figure out where your customer base is at. Because, like I said, you still want to be on social media if possible, But you might not be connecting to the entire base of customers that you could, and that's lost money. Um, One thing that you'll hear a lot of marketers, especially ones in the state, that I've heard a lot, they'll talk about sharing your story. And this is just basically, your customers are supporting local, for the quality, they're supporting local because the farmers market is there or for a number of reasons. But they also want to support you and are much more willing to support you when they know about you. So with sharing your story, you just want to make sure that you are, pinning something at the top of your social media that talks about the history of your farm, or it just talks about how you got into farming. We have a lot of multi-generational farmers within the state, and it is so cool to hear their story and hear how, their great granddad was farming on the same land that they're farming on, and how family is just so important to them. It doesn't have to be, the entire genealogy or, paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs, but just kind of weaving that into your posting or into just talking with customers is really can make a difference. Um, and then every time that you share an ad or share a promotion or put flyers up or post something on social media, you really want to think, does this connect me to my brand? Um, and more so, I'm thinking, a lot of posts, especially, political or things that just might cause a bit of tension, post that to your personal. That's just something that, sometimes we can see people will share things. And if that's really important to you and, you want to have that conversation with your customers or you can go ahead and post that on your farm social media. But just really keep in mind that things can be polarizing, and you really want to just stay close and connected to your brand. So talking about Facebook. So this is probably the largest social media opportunity, I guess. You want to make sure, first of all, that you have a business page. Um, run into quite a few farms that are still using their personal page. And like I said, it can be hard because if you want to share pictures of your family vacation, which you might still do on your business page, but if you want to share, 130 pictures in an album, it can be a lot to do that through just to do that in connection with also in the next post saying we have all of this produce that we're trying to sell or can get our CSA share or things like that. So make sure, first of all, that you have a business page. When you get a business page, you also unlock all of these beautiful insights. So as you can see here, this is not ours. This is just a random picture that we have of one, but it talks about, the different page views. It talks about how many likes you got. You can look at individual posts and see how those did. Trying to keep an eye on time. Um, you can see all of these different things and it's really helpful. And this isn't something that you need to comb into, spend hours and hours on. They'll do, as you can see here with an overview, Facebook will kind of do a really good job of giving you a summary. So if you just kind of scope through that, also with the business page, you can do ads. So as I mentioned earlier, for ads, you can do as little as I think $5, or you can go up to, a huge, huge, huge budget. Um, but ads are great if you are trying to promote an event, especially like an on-farm event. Ads are great just for whatever kind of promotion. So a lot of our CSA farmers will do ads just to promote CSA shares, things like that. One of the key things with ads is you want to promote a post that is already doing well. That's something that kind of shocked me, but there's something about the Facebook or Meta algorithm that if you're trying to promote a post that has very little views, it's not going to pick up traction the way that you would hope for. So if you have one that's already doing well, promote that one. Facebook is, big for photos. It's also big for reels. These days, since Meta is Instagram and Facebook. So video content is just absolutely king. I've seen a lot of farmers markets that will do live videos. Personally, I'm not exactly comfortable with that. So that goes back into, playing to your strengths. If there's someone um, at your farm that you think is just great in front of the camera, they're just really funny and just pizzazz it up, let them do live videos, let them do video content. It is really great. And that is what will gain a lot of traction. So stay with the normal posts, especially like I said, for events. But if you can do some video content, it's wonderful. Um, and then, like I said, the different types of posts, you have your videos, you have your just static regular posting. And in the creation of these, Canva is really wonderful. So Canva is what I'm using right now for this presentation. And it's online. There's a free version, which is honestly really great. Most farms are really content with that. There is a paid version as well that gives you access to a lot more, images that you can use, audio, things like that. We've at the Work Council have found it really beneficial to have the paid version because we're creating so much content. But you can always just give it a try and do the free one. But it's great for creating any kind of promotion. We've made our reels through here. There are just so many different tools that you can do if you're making brochures, if you're doing anything that's going to be printed out. You can also get it printed and shipped to you through Canva. And personally, we found that the pricing is pretty comparable to our area. So yeah, it's really, really wonderful tool. And just about any person in marketing or honestly, many farms across the state, you'll mention this and it'll be, yes, like Canva is our savior. So Instagram, like I said, Meta owns Facebook and Instagram now. And so with Instagram, a lot of things can be cross-posted, but it's really key to get in. I put in location here because if you will tag your location, so tag your farm, tag where you're at, people will have that saved or they can click on it and they'll see your post. And it really does help your numbers and help the traction that you'll get. Instagram is photo focused, so you have to have a photo to post on Instagram. Um, and you want your photos to be very visually appealing. You want them to be good quality. That doesn't mean you have to have a professional camera, professional photos taken. Even just your phone, just make sure that you wipe the camera and get the finger smudge prints off and just take pictures of what you do in your daily life. Videos, so reels for Instagram are huge. Like I said, video content across the platforms is really just taking off. It's the algorithm is always changing, but we don't see videos going away too soon. And then in Meta, so on your desktop or your laptop computer, or even on your phone, you can schedule posts for both Instagram and Facebook. It's wonderful. If you post to Instagram, there's a little button across the bottom that can automatically post it to Facebook as well. But scheduling is amazing. Farmers are so busy. And the last thing that you want to do is spend a ton of time just trying to figure out when to post things. So if anyone has questions about this, I can show you. But through Meta, you can schedule your posts, I believe, at least a month or two out, maybe longer than that, last time I checked. And you can just get all of your content scheduled that you want to get out, and it makes it so helpful. Okay, and then one of the key points for season extension, promoting CSAs, this kind of thing, retention during the off season is crucial. Retention in general is very, very important because current customers are a lot less expensive to keep than trying to go after new customers. So retention during the off season, or even if you don't have an off season, retention during the slow season is important. Not that you are ever not busy, but in the off or the slow season, there's a little bit more time to delegate towards social media or promoting your business. So like I said, the goal is to keep your current customers. And you do that all throughout the season, with the quality of your food or produce or flowers. But, like I said, keeping that connection with the customers, getting feedback from them, seeing what they're liking, what they're not liking. Like I said, the cost of keeping your current customers a lot less expensive than having to do more paid promotion, doing, more events just to try and get people on the farm. Because if your CSA sells out every year, then you're good. Like you just got to keep those customers. Um, One of the things that we talk about is interactions with other farmers. So it's nice, I know there's quite a bit of competition amongst farmers, but it is great if you can share each other's posts in the area. If there's a farmer that you know, has flowers and you don't grow flowers, but they're, the booth right next to you. How wonderful is it for everyone to just kind of lift each other up? Those do really well because when you interact with them, they can interact with you and you're open to an even wider customer base. When we talk about the 80-20 rule, this is on your business page. 80% of the time, you want to just be talking about what goes on day to day, behind the scenes, share your story, talk about the different things. The 20% is going to be the promoting your product. Now, this doesn't mean that the 80% isn't promoting your product, but it's not trying to sell something to your customer. The 20% is going to be, directly like, hey, we have a sale on watermelon this week, or hey, buy our winter CSA, or, that's a really direct because you don't want to spend 100% of the time just selling to people. They're not necessarily going to accept that very well. Your page isn't going to be very interesting. So it's just important to kind of throw in some you into your business. And then responding to customers. Personally, this can be hard sometimes just responding to messages on our business page. But responding to your customers is really important. Within 24 hours, if you can at least just get a message out saying, hey, we're really busy on the farm right now. I'll get to you in a couple days or in 48 hours or something. That's great. Because if a customer feels like they can't, not that you should be accessible 24/7, but if they feel like they can't get answers from you, they're going to look to the next business. If they're asking, do you have cucumbers? And they need cucumbers within a couple days and you don't respond, they're going to go get cucumbers somewhere else. They're going to go to Kroger. They're going to go somewhere that's not you. So just try your best with that. And then I think that's it. Try to leave a little bit of time for questions. But please feel free, anyone, to reach out to me. Like I said, I can walk you through some of the different meta analytics and things like that. But yeah, Danny, if you have any questions.
Thank you, Bethany. Super helpful, super informative. I do have a few follow-up questions because I think we have just a few minutes. Can you give us any specific tips on how a grower can emphasize the fact that they have a year-round or at least an extended season veggie or flower availability? For example, how can a grower kind of play up their protected ag spaces as a thing that sets them apart from other growers?
Yeah, so I think, you know, with that whole like figuring out when you're telling your story, you know, that's also thinking about like what's important to you and what, you know, you want to get across to customers. So, when it comes to marketing your seasons, if you are doing a year round that has like an evolve or a revolving door, I don't know if that makes sense, but like if you're always taking in new customers for a year round CSA, you always want to be promoting that if you have available shares. Um, so that's just kind of getting creative. That is, like I said, marketing every season. That's, sharing customer posts of what they made. That's, you know, really just trying to, in that instance, you don't really have an off season. So you're just trying to retain your current ones, make sure that they're happy, and then continue to try and just put posts out there, put video content out there, share to everyone like, hey, we're here. We have a year-round CSA. If you have different options of like, you can try a spring season and see how you like it, and then have the option to go into summer and fall and winter. Just really prompt up the different options that you have if you have them. And then in terms of if something is really important to you to get across, um, we talked with we're doing a presentation next week on cut flower marketing, and marketing your sustainability aspect. And
Right.
so if that's something that's important to your business and you want to get that across and you think customers will find that really important too, tell them. I think that's just like the first step is just, it's really important to us that we have produce or meat 365 days a year. So that's what we're doing, and we're here for you. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, awesome. I have a question from David Neville in the chat, which I may have to ask for clarification, but maybe you know what he's saying, Bethany. He asks, what are some ways to get, quote, earned PR?
Like, okay, I don't exactly know what earned PR is.
David, if you'd like to unmute yourself and
Yeah, thanks, guys. Sorry for the confusion.
no,
So what I'm really talking about is somebody else talking about your business, right?
Oh, yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
and so what we think of typically when we think about that is somebody coming out to the farm, WHS 11 TV coming out to the farm and doing some news program on some special event. And so, and we try to do that, right? So
Hmm.
with some of the stuff I'm doing, I'll reach out to media, but
Hmm.
is there and this question would have lots of details, and I know we don't have time for that, but is there a more organized way to in non-social media context, physical context, is there a more organized way to to get at that challenge, to have other folks talk about our stuff, our products, our farm, our whatever in a very positive way?
Okay. Thank you for clarifying. That's kind of what I thought you were talking about. But yeah, I mean the best marketing is the word of mouth. Um, so I think what you're doing is exactly you know all you can do for my knowledge, in terms of trying to get like the news out there and trying to get the media to pick up on it. I find if you do a post and you can tag someone that you want to take notice of it, that can never hurt. It's a free way to do it. Outside of social media, though, I think the only thing you can do is email, is try to tell your customers to, promote or to tell their friends. I know there were some farm events where it was, bring a friend out to pick up your CSA, um, bring a friend out to the farm, and like there's a little bit of promotion with that. So I think just really try and get your customers to promote it out for you. And sometimes that takes a little bit of, like I said, like you have to give a little bit to get a little bit. But yeah, in terms of the media, I would just tag them as much as you can, email them, try and get them out to the farm.
awesome. Bethany, I had several more questions, but I'm just going to ask you one more in the interest of time. So as you know, at KHC, we work with a few different partners who also are heavily focused on kind of helping growers with marketing and developing business plans and things like that. Can you just highlight a couple of these, just so folks know what kind of support is out there?
Yeah, so there are quite a bit of different organizations. The first that comes to mind is KCARD, Kentucky Center for Ag and Rural Development. Katie Bowman there is really great with all things marketing. We work together on quite a bit of things. And just kind of the organization as a whole is really great for anything farm business related. So I can pop in the information for that. But in terms of marketing, University of Kentucky Center for Crop Diversification does a lot with marketing. Kentucky Proud does a lot. Um, there are just, I mean, I know I'm forgetting a few, but so many of our partners, at least someone in the organization touches on marketing. And so you get a little bit from us, you get a little bit from them. If anything, if you ever ask a question to me and I don't know it, I can shoot you around to someone else that definitely will know the answer. And we all have different resources that are really, really helpful. So yeah, and actually, Katie Bowman spoke at our Direct Marketing Summit this spring. We have those on our YouTube. This was a CSA focused Direct Marketing Summit that just talked about marketing. And like I said, especially marketing CSAs. But we have, I believe, 3 previous years of Direct Marketing Summit videos that are also on our YouTube. So I'll make sure that we get that link out. But yeah, just a lot of great marketing content amongst all of us, amongst all of the support organizations in the state as well.
Awesome. Well, in the interest of time, I think we will go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you, Bethany, for taking your time and sharing your knowledge with us. Before we all go our separate ways, I'll take the opportunity to invite folks to our upcoming Ag Drone Training Day, which is a week from today. It's a free in-person event that will take place at the KSU Research Farm. That's July 9th from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And it's for anybody interested in drones who want to learn how the technology might benefit their farm businesses and help more efficiently manage land, crops, and or livestock. So whether you're interested in just simple scouting or taking some aerial imagery of your farm, or you'd like to expand into commercial drone applications, or you know someone that does, there will be something for everyone here. So we'll be joined by specialists from UK and KSU, as well as a few drone operators and business owners. So lots of expertise in the room, and anyone is welcome to attend. So again, I'll send out an email with more info on how to register for that and all of our upcoming events to make sure you look out for that. And I will also send the direct marketing videos, a link to that on our YouTube channel. Yeah, all of our upcoming events are sure to be exciting. So I hope you guys will join us again. So thank you for being here, everyone, and have a terrific Tuesday.